Dan.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks a lot for joining. We'll give everybody a couple of more seconds. It's great to see a big turnout, which is wonderful. I hope you've all had some downtime over the summer and are ready and refreshed and willing to get going with Panther recruitment, which is good. Okay, one more minute and then we'll get going. Just to let a few less stragglers. So as usual, we'll run through a brief slide deck just to give us a bit of an update, and then we'll just go through each of the sites and hear how you're all getting on. Okay, so let's get going. Janice, I don't know if you want to kick off or do you want me to kick off?
Yeah, I can do that. Yep, no problem. So welcome everyone. So this is our webinar Friday, 21st of August. So recruitment, we just managed to sneak in a new site. So we've literally just updated this in the last hour or so. So the latest site to join us was Edinburgh. So welcome if you're on. So we've got 14 sites open now and 17 patients recruited. And as you can see here, this is our sort of recruitment table. So Sunderland just in the lead there, ahead of Charing Cross. And then St Thomas's, Ealing, Oldham and UCLH all sort of drawing at the minute. And then I'll hand over to Michael here to give you an update on our courier scenario.
So yeah, this applies to those that are using the couriers. If we go next, Janice. So it's just a step-by-step. So once you have found an eligible patient, please enter them onto Open Clinical first, and this will generate a patient ID. The next step is to book the courier. It's important you do this step first because it helps reduce the turnaround time. So always book the courier first, and make sure you put the exact details for collection and location, because this helps the driver locate you. There is a section in the form for extra notes, so if you need anyone to buzz or to meet at a particular location, then please input these details because it does help out. So once you have then taken the sample, you've collected and centrifuged it, you then do part 2, which is completing the details on the Nexus portal. So this is where you actually book the actual test. So this is for the subphenotyping. And this portal is separate to the courier link. So you do the courier link on one portal, and then you do the Nexus booking on the next. If we go to the next 2 bits, please, Janice. So all your account codes will start with PANT, and then the next 2 codes will be a reference to your site. So for example, King's College may be PANT KCH. So this is an important reminder. Please make sure you don't put any patient names or data onto the Nexus. Please only use the patient ID that you were generated in Open Clinical. This is an important point just to note.
Okay, great. Thanks for that, Michael. Little update on contracts. So we have an agreement with Randox in place. And as I'm sure you all know, that due to the new clinical trial regulations, we have a new MNCA template, but I believe that's all been sent to sites now. So for those that are not open yet, hopefully you can review them and send them back to us. Little update on training logs. So as part of our sort of streamlined process, when you complete your training, which is an online form, you have the option to pop in your NMC number or GMC number. If you do that, when we receive it on the other side, we just verify that the number is correct. And then that is a verification for us to confirm that it is you yourself that's completed the training. So then you don't need to forward us the automated email that you receive to say that you've completed the training. The only people that need to do that are people sort of administrators and whatnot that don't have the NMC or GMC number. So for them, when you complete your training log, we will still need you to forward your training email, because that's again the verification for us to confirm that it is yourself that's completed the training. And yeah, just a note here that the email that you receive then as your confirmation of training is your training log. So you can then save that and pop it in the EISF. Couple of quick screening queries. So just a note here that if the patient meets the platform inclusion criteria but declines consent, so if the patient or family declines consent to one particular treatment, they can still be randomized to the other, so the other treatment or standard care. So you just pop the information on the database. So you just complete the eligibility forms as you would. So there's an option on each that says, no consent, and they'll still be randomized to the other options available. And then there's just a screenshot here of how to document that in the consent form. So if you see point 2 here, you would simply just strike through the treatment that they have refused or declined consent for and still complete the consent form. So we just wanted to confirm that they can still be randomized if they decline one of the treatments. And then a few database query updates. So just to give you sort of an overview, the current database that is live was one that we were keen to activate as soon as we could so that we could get sites open. And during the process of this current database, we've been taking on feedback from sites and suggestions and updates, and we have new countries joining. So we are in the process of updating the database. But whilst we are doing that, there are just a few sort of tweaks that we need to make when you are currently entering data on the current version. So for example, when entering the PF ratio, so for the PaO2, at the moment, if you select KPA, the option doesn't appear. So we're asking sites to pop it in as MMHG. So it's just a bit of a quirk with the database at the minute. So we're updating that in the next version. But for now, if you can ensure that when you enter the PaO2, you enter it as MMHG. And then when entering details for the SOFA score, so just for some clarification, so this is sort of the daily pages, and I've popped some images here. So at the top of the form for the daily pages, it has this statement stating, please enter the values recorded closest to 8 a.m., but that refers to the top part of the form. Where it refers to the SOFA score, which is further down the same form, you need to be entering the data in the previous 24 hours, not at 8 a.m. So the 8 a.m. Timings refer to the top of the form, which is PaO2 and it's respiratory information. But the SOFA score details it refers to the previous 24 hours. So again, we're clarifying this in the next update, but it's just to let you know as you're entering data now. These are sort of the common queries that we've been receiving from sites. And just a note as well that on the SOFA score, so when you enter the various components, you will not see the overall score, but it's calculated behind the scenes. So we'll still be able to pull the score, but just to let you know that you may not see it on the form. And then, if you can ensure that you're completing any missing data, because we are pulling sort of reports as it's a platform trial, we're pulling reports quite regularly just to sort of keep track of any missing data or queries or updates for stats. So if you can make sure that you're updating any missing data as soon as you're entering them, that would be fab. And then Michael, to update us on UAFs.
Yep, so these are the UAF forms that are obviously submitted to get you access to our Open Clinica database. So please only fill in the name, date, and sign in the user acknowledgement box. If you just click next for me, Janice. So you can see there'll be 2 boxes on the form. There's a user acknowledgement box, and then there's a counter signatures bit underneath it. So please only sign the name, date, and signature in the user acknowledgement bit. The other bit is for one of the trial team to countersign and complete your form. So we just a polite reminder, just sign this first bit. And also once you have sign this bit, please return it to the Panther team directly, albeit the form does say to send it to our CDS team. We are looking to try and get that changed. Please don't do this. Please send it to us first because we need to check it and process it before we then pass it on to our CDS team. So just please complete this first section and send it to the Panther team first. And we've got just going to signpost you back to our consent animation that we have for patients. We've had this available for a while. If we could just click ahead for me, Janice. So it's a useful patient consent animation that we made with an official animation provider. It summarizes the study processes in lay terminology so that patients can understand the trial more easily. We do encourage that you signpost any patients or representatives who prefer visual aids or need any extra information to this video. It's only about 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes long, and it goes at a nice pace and explains the whole trial easily for them. So if you want to click on next for me, Janice, it will show the video. So it's available on our YouTube, but it's also available on our website. If we click ahead to the link, and it will be on Panther, the Panther website on the video section, but we've also got a QR code in the top right, which will take you straight to that video. Thanks very much. And there's a new video that we have on there, which is an EISS activation video. I know that a lot of the sites on call will have their EISS activated already, and we usually require a few of staff to join. But if for any reason you weren't able to join, we do now have a demo video available. So it's designed for anyone that needs a refresher, or if you have any new staff joining. It's a shortened version of the demo that we do with sites. It's only about half an hour, but it gives you an overview of the Florence website, well, the Florence portal that we use for the EISFs. Again, this is housed on our website on the video section too, and there is a QR code in the top right hand corner to direct you to that video as well. And then,
yeah, was this you as well, Michael? Yeah, good.
So the translation. So we're requiring, if anyone can speak Urdu, Arabic, or Punjabi, to please contact us. We do need some assistance with some of our PIS translations. We've made a few amendments, so we'd be very grateful if any of your staff that could speak these languages fluently would make yourselves known to the Panther team to help us with these documents.
And so the team will also be attending the UK CCRG in September, which is in Brighton. We've got an evening slot booked in on Monday the 7th from 5:30 until 6. We will be providing refreshments, so if any of you will be attending, it would be really great to see you there in person. And then, yeah, we could just open the floor up to any questions.
Thanks all. So maybe we'll take the slides down, which is